Okay, now we're joined by our Buffalo Bill fan and Boston Bruin fan, NorthStar Bets' very own Steven Psihogios. Stevie, big weekend for you. You know, Mahomes Allen Part 3, and it's Hockey Day in Canada on a Saturday. So let's go right into it. First off, the Winnipeg Jets are in the nation's capital to face the Senators. NSB has them as the slight favorite. Now, look, Winnipeg's first in the Central. Ottawa's fired their head coach and hasn't done anything since. And now Jacob Chikrin is potentially on the block. What are your big storylines coming out of this game?
Well, I think this is a game. Let's see if Ottawa can stack a couple positive results together. They got the win the other night against Montreal. The fans had some fun. They showed it the Canadiens fans leaving the game early on the Videotron. They were singing "Ole, Ole." Can they string together a couple of wins now that they've got a little bit of momentum? The Sens, they still have a lot of games in hand on the rest of the conference. I'm not saying they're going anywhere, but they can still finish this thing out respectably. And I think that's something they need to do because we're pretty far along into this current iteration of the Senators, and there hasn't been too many positive signs. On the Winnipeg side, like you mentioned, minus 134 favorite over at NorthStar Bets. I think that's a good line to bet the Jets on. We probably get Hellebuyck, although I'm not certain if we get Hellebuyck. It could be a Brossoit game. But either way, Scheifele, he's not going to play. He's going to be out. That's a tough loss. But they recently got Kyle Connor back in Winnipeg. It seems like it's been a while since they've had their full lineup together, but they still managed to pick up wins. And like I mentioned, Hellebuyck, he has been the ultimate X factor this year, the rightful favorite for the Vezina Trophy. I actually think he might be one of the best bets. I know his number's below plus 200, but if you're looking at the rest of the options right now, I don't think anyone's going to top him for the Vezina. I know Justin rolls his eyes as he thinks about Thatcher Demko, but I know he does. But I still would go with Hellebuyck, considering how much of his team's success is on his shoulders.
I mean, the Jets, one of the best stories in hockey right now. I mean, they're 9-1 in their last 10. They beat some really good teams. Now they head into Ottawa to play a team that's an absolute disaster. Okay, credit to them. They played Montreal. They played really well. As you mentioned, the fans were on their side. But I just smell a complete beatdown here from the Jets on the road against one of the worst teams in the NHL. And if you can get them on the puck line, Stevie, at minus 1.5 at plus 170, that's fantastic value, right?
For sure, because with this Ottawa team, how inconsistent their offense has been, was much better to start the year. It's kind of tailspinned as the season's gone along. If Winnipeg gets to 3, it's hard to imagine Ottawa putting up 2 or more than 2 goals. Like, I really think if Winnipeg is able to get to 3 or 4, you're sitting pretty safe. It's not a game where you have to hope that they score 5+ in order to cover the puck line the way they're playing. So I do like that as a wager. I think Winnipeg straight up minus 134 is a good bet too. I don't think you can go wrong with the Jets straight up or on the puck line.
Pooni, 99 goals against, by the way. Sorry to interrupt you for the Jets. Best defense in the league. Incredible.
Shout out to Rick Bowness. What a job he's doing. The main event of Hockey Day in Canada is this. The West Coast, Best Coast, all of that. The Toronto Maple Leafs, the hurting Toronto Maple Leafs, go to Vancouver to face off against the best team in not just Canada, the entire NHL, the Vancouver Canucks. NorthStar Bets has the Canucks as minus 125 favorites, which is surprising because I thought the Leafs were God's team and I thought they would be the favorite whatever building they go to. But they come to Vancouver. Austin Matthews has to wear a Superman cape every single night for the Leafs to even have a chance to win. They're going to go up against the Lotto line, the best line in hockey. Did you see EP40's one-timer last night off from the point on the power play? I'm telling you right there, that's $13 million right there. Stevie, the Canucks steamroll the Leafs tomorrow, right? There's no question about it.
I'm going to take the Canucks for sure. Minus 125, I think, is good value on the money line. But look, before we get into that, okay, God's team comes into Vancouver. How do you feel about that being a 7 p.m. start time Eastern, 4 p.m.
I've hated it my whole life. It's absolutely a joke. The fact that you cater to a team that hasn't done anything since 1967, just so those old geezers on the East Coast like Albert can stay up and watch the game because he doesn't want to stay up.
Pooni, you're in Toronto. You're not watching the game in Vancouver.
It doesn't matter. Where am I from?
This guy's
the fact that my parents and my family and all my friends have to take time out of their day on a Saturday afternoon where you could be doing things, and it's not Saturday night. It's an absolute joke. The fact that the NHL always caters to the Leafs like this. The Canucks are the best team in the NHL. That should be a 7 p.m. Pacific start time.
Hey, Stevie, I don't know about you. I would love a little afternoon game, though, right? That'd be nice, and you got the rest of your night to yourself.
A little 4 p.m. Well, I mean, they kind of stagger it tomorrow, but like for those of us who cover the Leafs and watch them closely, yeah, it would be nice to be done by 7. Have your Saturday night for yourself.
Yeah, man.
If you wanted to get ahead on the NFL action, you catch the 8 p.m. the kickoff between the Packers and Niners. Start preying for the Bills game.
There we go.
There you go. But okay,
yeah,
so
that's what I'm saying.
What do you think, Albert? You think
No, listen, we talked about this earlier as well. Like, I mean, as much as I want to say that the Leafs at plus money is a good bet, but at the moment, the way that they're playing, not. Against Calgary, they really didn't look that great. They needed an incredible video review to keep them in that game.
A fingernail.
And now you're going into one of the hottest barns in the league against one of the best teams with a Vezina candidate. You have Pedersen, and Besser is on fire right now. Quinn Hughes is probably favored to win the Norris right now. I just don't see the way that this Leafs team has been playing that they're going to go into Vancouver and win that game. And plus money looks great, but I mean Vancouver minus 125 is what I'm seeing now in NorthStar Bets. That's really good value.
it is what it is?
Yeah, you have to play the Canucks there. The Leafs haven't shown me anything in that game, and we've seen it time and time again. If it's not a heroic effort from one of those big 4 guys, there's not enough depth there to match up with other teams that tend to have more balanced lineups.
Now, wrapping up Hockey Day in Canada at 10 p.m. Eastern, so all these people back east will be asleep to watch this game. The hottest team in the NHL, the Edmonton Oilers, the winners of 12 straight, look for 13 straight against the Flames. I think on NorthStar Bets, they have them right now as the favorites at minus 143 on the money line. From what you've seen from the Oilers in this turnaround, they're back to being a cup contender, right, Stevie? Like, they are right up there as one of the top teams to lift the Stanley Cup come the summertime.
Definitely. And the Kings faltering in the Pacific has only strengthened their case, right? This has been a team that has looked downright brutal for the last 11, 12 games at Los Angeles. They've kind of let Edmonton just sneak right back into the mix where they don't have to worry really about being a wild card team. They'll probably finish top 3 in the Pacific. And Vegas, good thing that they're starting to string together some wins because it was dicey for them for a little bit too. And Edmonton gained ground on them as well. The Oilers have kind of picked the perfect time to get hot. They've really gained ground on the rest of their division. This is a game, though. Give me Calgary as an underdog. Ooh. I do like the Flames in this game to pull off the upset and end Edmonton's streak. This game means a lot for those Calgary Flames players because they've been hot in their own right. They're trying to catch a playoff spot too. They're not too far behind the Oilers. And after a tough loss against the Maple Leafs, I think you see Calgary come out firing. And Edmonton, they've kind of been scraping by with some close wins for the most part as of late. I could see Calgary winning. I like them at plus money odds.
I love that. I love a dog, so I might have to tail you on that one. But I'm just looking at Connor McDavid right now in his active point streak. In 12 games played, he's got 5 goals and 13 assists for 18 points. I mean, right now, I think at one point we were talking about Connor McDavid and just completely taking him out of the Hart Trophy conversation. And now he's playing himself back into that on a 12-game winning streak, which is incredible that it's a franchise record considering the Oilers of the 80s, that they were able to do this. And as much as I probably will tell you on this bet, isn't it just, it's incredibly difficult to fade the best player in the world with the best offense in the league right now.
Agreed. And his numbers during this stretch have been absurd. It's no coincidence that both these things are happening at the same time. And he's just able to do that. When he finds that gear, McDavid, no one can match it. McKinnon, he's fantastic. Matthews, fantastic. Pedersen, pretty good. I'm just kidding. Hey, I'm just kidding. I'm throwing Pedersen in that air. He's earned it. He's earned it. But still, when push comes to shove, no one can match McDavid at his peak. And we've seen what that can do for this Oilers team. They've really clawed their way out of a really dark situation. There used to be a saying, you can't win the Stanley Cup in October, but you can lose it. Edmonton was trending that way, but they've really bounced back, and you've got to give McDavid the majority of the credit for that.
Yeah, just quickly, I got one here. Nazem Kadri. The guy's on a little point streak himself. 8 games, 6 goals, 5 assists for 11 points. Maybe worth a sprinkle for him to score a goal against the Oilers. Just saying. Maybe. Now, Stevie, I was going to end this one on a good note with you. I was going to say I'm going with the Bills this weekend, but after that little slight of Elias Pettersson, Patrick Mahomes is going to go in, and Taylor Swift is going to go in, and they're going to roll out of Buffalo with a victory going to the AFC Championship game. Sorry about that.
No, they're going to be so uncomfortable coming to Buffalo, Because look, Taylor Swift, she's a billionaire, lives a life of luxury. That word does not apply to the city of Buffalo. That's a hardworking, blue-collar town. They're going to be uncomfortable from the jump. And speaking of jump, watch out for Jawan Taylor. That guy jumps at home when the crowd is dead silent. When Bills Mafia is pouring down, just screaming at him at the line, you're going to see a lot of jumping from Jawan Taylor.
Well, Stevie, we can't wait to talk to you next week to recap the Bills' home playoff loss and a Canucks home win against the Toronto Maple Leafs. Take care, buddy.